Hey, what's going on?
What's up, Josh, man? How are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. Excited to talk
We are,
to some guys about some fishing tonight, man.
yeah, we're live. See, we got some. Yeah, it's working, I think. Yep. Here in a second, we've got the winner of Table Rock, Jason Coleman from Arkansas. We've also got the runner-up and second place finisher, DJ Williams. We're going to talk about how their tournament went, how they were successful on Table Rock, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up in Moayak too. It's gonna be cool.
Man, Saturday was great. The weather kind of sucked in the morning, but just seeing that many guys out there at Indian Point, I mean, we were almost too crowded to be over there, man. It was cool to see that many guys turn out.
Yeah, it was a good turnout. I mean, we keep getting bigger and bigger. It's amazing. Pretty cool.
It's definitely cool. It was definitely a good day to be fishing. I think.
Yeah, I was looking back through some of the pictures of that people had posted, in our photo dump. Everybody's got big old smiles on their faces, man. I mean, it was a fun time. So
all bundled up in their rain gear, but they had smiles on their faces.
Yeah, the small fish were chewing anyway. But Jason and DJ, they figured out how to get some good ones. So let's go ahead and bring them on, and let's talk about how their day went.
Hey guys.
Hey, what's going on?
Okay, I can't hear anybody.
You can't hear nobody, DJ?
What am I doing?
Can hear you.
Jason, you still hear us and good?
Yep, coming in good.
Well, Jason, while DJ's trying to figure that out real quick, let's start off with you, man. Tell us about yourself. Tell us where you're from and all that goodness.
Yeah,
I can't hear.
Turn on your headphones.
Yeah, I can't hear anything. I'm trying to figure it out.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and let him see if he can get that figured out.
Yeah. So, I'm here in Bentonville, Arkansas. Been here for about 12 years. I'm a transplant to the area. Grew up in South Carolina. Pretty much been fishing my whole life. Been around it my whole life. Worked in it my whole life, and just love this area. These beautiful highland lakes up here and the way they fish, and got into kayak fishing last year. COVID really kind of allowed me to get back in the sport. I got 3 kids that are 10 to 19, and the last 20 years have been ball games and recitals and things of that nature. And last year, with everything closed down, I bought a kayak and started doing some local tournaments within SKA down here, and just having a blast doing it. So first event on Table Rock, and man, what a lake. I tell you, the fishery is phenomenal. I'd only been on it one other time prior to the week before the tournament, and just got lucky, found some fish, and had a great time, man.
Table Rock is a cool lake. I mean, it's got a love-hate relationship, but I think most people love it. I mean, you can go, there's so many different areas you can fish. There's so many types of, you can river fish, you can main lake fish, you can cove fish, you can dock fish. There's different types of rocks, bluffs, boulders. It's got everything. I love Table Rock. Yeah.
And I'm with all the fish caught, I mean, it was just crazy that day that how they were biting and munching in the pre-tournament, fishing was, I caught the biggest bag I'd ever caught in a kayak pre-fishing in 3 hours the Sunday before the tournament. And I was like, wow, so.
Hey, DJ, take a moment, introduce yourself. I know you've been on here once. Just tell us about yourself and where you're from, man.
What's up, man? Everybody, I'm DJ Williams. I'm AKA Ox Fishing from St. Louis. I jumped in kayak fishing about, I want to say 2018 or so. I kind of did a couple monthlies. And I think last year I finally joined the club with Moayak. Was my first time in a club fishing a trail, and I hit the ground running. I mean, Moayak, you kind of got to step your game up if you want to do something. So I had to learn a lot on the fly, and I put in the work, and I've been able to get on this show a couple times. So, not too bad.
Well, let's get into Table Rock. DJ and Jason, you guys feel free to chime in whenever, but DJ, let's start off with you. And I know you kind of talked on Saturday about, how you caught your fish, but tell us about your day, man.
Yeah, well, I didn't pre-fish. I didn't get any pre-fishing. I've got a kind of weird schedule this year because of my girl's job and everything. So I didn't get a lot of time to pre-fish. I left the house at 1 a.m. I showed up at the ramp at 5:30. I kind of had a good idea where I wanted to fish. Last year I caught a bunch of big smallmouth in that area. And from the fishing report, the smallmouth was what were biting. So that was kind of what I was going to target. So I launched down there in a little area. I had a specific point that the smallmouth would sit on last year and the year before that where I caught them. And I get out there and I fish it right off the bat, and there was not any fish on that point. But once I moved to the inside of the point, I caught a couple right there, but they weren't smallmouth. I caught a 19.75 right off the bat, a largemouth. And I was actually surprised. The smallmouth were not in that area. I couldn't catch any smallmouth in that area, which I was kind of banking on catching, 2 or 3 nice sized smallmouth to get me going. And it just really didn't happen. So I ended up having to figure stuff out. I think I was throwing a jig at first, and I planned on jigging all day. When I go to Table Rock, that's usually what I do. I jig all day. Well, it just wasn't working. So I just started having the junk fish and tied on a crankbait and caught a smallmouth off that probably about a half a mile from where I caught the other one, probably about 2 hours later. And then I fished with that crankbait for a long time and didn't catch anything off that. So I think I had like 3 fish on the board or so. And I just decided to try a bunch of different stuff. I really just went fishing. I figured I'd just have to explore that area as much as I could. The wind in the main channel where I was at, the main channel was facing north and south, and the wind was coming straight from the north. So the cove I was in was calm, but once you got out in that main channel, it got pretty rough. So I figured I was just going to fish that cove as thoroughly as I possibly could. I think I had 4 fish with three or so hours into the tournament. So I decided I was going to go out in that main channel. And I went out there. I was looking for a bunch of spots off a bunch of riprap. And I think I pulled about a 15 and a half inch spot off the riprap. And then I caught a bunch of fish, which at that point I had a limit. And then I had a 19.75. So I think I was like 80 inches or so. And I had an 18 smallmouth. So I knew I was in a decent position. I just needed a few upgrades. But once I was in that main channel, dude, I started getting pounded like bad. My yak's filling up with water. I'm not feeling too secure about being in that channel and my yak filling up with water. So I was just like, I'm finna dock my boat, let the water get out a little bit and try to get my bearings about me. Well, I got out, I docked right next to a dock, and then I get out. I'm on the bank. I'm letting my kayak drain. I'm shaking like a leaf because it wasn't cold out there. But it was just windy and just cold enough and just wet enough.
Yeah, that wind just cut through everything.
Man, I was out there shaking like a leaf. My back was tightening up. I was feeling uncomfortable. And I'm like, man, this sucks. I still got about 3 or 4 hours to go. So I just waited in the water there for a minute and relaxed, ate a little bit. And I decided to take my little shaky head and throw it up next to that dock while I sat next to my boat there. And sure enough, pulled about a 16 and a half right off that dock, waiting in the water. And I'm like, well, that's cool because I definitely wasn't comfortable. I probably wouldn't have been able to sit next to that dock in my yak and fish it because I was just getting pounded so bad. So I knew at that point I had upgraded to like 83 or 84 inches. Then I got hype. I said, forget this. I'm going through it. I decided to go back to the cove that I was in and try a bunch of different lures that I wasn't trying before in the same areas, maybe hit different areas. And sure enough, that paid off. I got back to the cove. I had like an hour left in the tournament. I went on the backside of a rip-rap wall. I threw a itty-bitty 2.75 Kitech and caught that 21-incher. And it put me right behind old Jason at 90 inches and out 90 and a half, I think. and I felt really good about that. I try to upgrade. I try to upgrade and get you, man. I just needed a 17, and I fished so hard to get that 17, but I couldn't get you in time, man. It was pretty fun though, man, because once I every time I upgraded, I got a little bit more energy. Like, okay, let's go, let's do this. And
Jason,
it was a fun tournament, but it was more of a grind than it looked like. That 90.5 inches makes it look like I smashed them. But, dude, I grinded to get that, and I got beat up to get it, too. But it was fun.
Jason, does any of that match up to, like a pattern that you were fishing at all or anything like that?
And I started out the day in a little pocket that I had marked some stuff in the 3 hours I was on the lake that Sunday. And I marked, there was all kind of beds in the pocket Sunday when I went in there. Fish all over them, mostly bucks, and I figured maybe some big girls had moved in. So I went back there first, and there were no fish on the beds at all. They'd all moved off. No bucks, no females. So I marked a little stump, I guess a little piece of debris or something in about 15, 20 feet of water at the mouth of that little pocket, and I went back and threw a little finesse, fat baby finesse on that stump. We caught 4 fish back to back, And after that, I kind of figured, well, I don't see any. There was 100 beds in this pocket on Sunday, and no fish on them now. So I just started hitting some offshore spots that I'd marked, just fall down trees, debris, and things of that nature, with a little bit bigger bait through my thunder cricket and through the red eye shad most of the day. And I just hit those spots, 12, 15 spots back and forth, and I was catching fish every time, I had all my inches by 9 o'clock except for one.
Wow.
So I caught fish all day, but I just didn't upgrade other than 116
my mind, dude.
Wow.
It blows my mind hearing guys power fish in the lake when I'm a power fisherman and I got to finesse these fish. And then I get to the check-in.
I'm normally I'm a finesse, slow and easy, but where I was fishing, it was windy, so it was hard to throw a lightweight worm,
That's wild.
So I just figured I had to, if I'm gonna fight the wind, I'm gonna have to do it with a heavier bait, and it just worked out. I got lucky, a couple big bites, and hell, yeah, it was fun all day. The anticipation of those big fish biting all day kept me warm anyway.
Yeah, you had some good ones, 21.25, and took home some money too.
Yeah, it'll be gone in a week.
Right,
dude. My 21 incher, I bet that fish wasn't even 5 pounds. It was just long as hell.
Long and skinny.
Yeah. If you look at Jason's compared to yours, which they're only a 1/4 inch difference, I mean, Jason's just looks like it's about to pop.
Yeah. Dude, I caught and I finished second place in a tournament the week before, and I caught a 20.5 that was well over 6 pounds. And that 21 was, like I said, it'd be lucky if it was 5. But I'll take it.
I had a handheld. It was 5.14 on the little handheld I had. So
that thing's got a long tail on it, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
it was one of those fish that's got, the top of its back tail. It's got the extra little boop to it. The extra little 1/4 inch on its tail. I like
what's that called? What's that called again? What's it called? The
little boop.
DJ, what are you fishing out of, man?
I am fishing out of a Bite FD, and I got the E-Drive in it.
How are you liking that setup?
I wouldn't have caught those fish without the motor. Those, if you've seen my fish catches and how far apart they were, and where I had to go and where I had to go back to, I wouldn't have been willing to pedal through that tough stuff on the main channel if I didn't have that motor. So I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a little more advantageous than I thought it would be when I first got it, because I'm willing to go places that I probably wouldn't have went with my legs, just for the simple fact that the fatigue after you get off the water and I got to drive home and I just like the fact that I can turn that on and sit back and go where I want to go. Now I don't have all the fancy dancy spot lock and all that, but it can get me where I'm going without having to use my leg power. I like it.
How does that work with your drive? Is it remote controlled, or do you just is it like a Torpedo where it has a lever?
It's like it basically drops down on top of my pedal drive head instead of the pedals, and then it's just got a knob on there that changes the speed. It basically just pedals it for me. I still steer it the same way I do it before. So it's just got a little knob it's got 3 speeds, and then it's got reverse.
Nice. Jason, what about you, man? What are you fishing out of?
Old Town MK106. It's got the motor in it as well. I had the pedal last year, and I agree with what we were saying about the long drives. So I was going 3 miles to where I fished from the launch, and I probably wouldn't have done it in that wind if I didn't have the motor. So yeah, for sure.
It definitely comes into play when you're talking about wind, for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean I get whooped by Dorm and all them with paddles all the time. So don't get it twisted. But I think in this particular situation, I wouldn't have got those fish were spread out for me. I wasn't catching them in a bunch, so I had to do a lot of searching and a lot of covering water, and that definitely helped me. So
right on. Well, Jason, what's up next for you on your tournament schedule? Where are you headed?
Table Rock, May 8th. We've got an NSKA event, so that's really why I was going into this event thinking it was a pre-fish deal, And,
the Ace of Blades, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, the Ace of Blades. So, looking forward to it. Lake raised, I think it went up about 3 feet since yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Probably more than it was.
Yeah, the lower end of the lake, I've been seeing some video footage today. It looks like there's some floaters going through there, to say the least. Some serious flow.
Yeah, we're fishing everything west of Shell Knob, so ought to be interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole area that's going to be the worst affected too.
Yeah. Jason, tell us about your club. Tell us about your club out of Arkansas, in comparison to Moyak and whatnot.
Well, there are a lot of great guys, and they're a great organization and well run, just like you guys. I mean, the whole kayak community, what I found in the last year being around it, is a bunch of passionate people that love the sport, and everybody that I've dealt with buttoned up. You guys, your event was seamless. The communication was great, and Taylor and the folks down at NSKA, Kyle Long, those guys, they do a great job of communication and keeping things running smooth, and just a great experience all around with both groups.
Yeah, NSKA has been around for a long time too. They've got their stuff. They're one of the better clubs in the entire Midwest, in my opinion, actually. Maybe the best.
What's a high number as far as anglers for a tournament?
Last year a little higher with the COVID. 70 to 90.
Wow, that's awesome, man.
That's huge.
Yeah.
So what's up next for you, DJ? What's up?
I just fished a tournament today at Gribby. I just fished a Gribby tournament today on Lake St. Chris. Basically, you get 4 days to fish it. You get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. You pick a day, fish from 7 to 3. And I fished today. I caught like 73 inches. I didn't do too well, but the lake's fishing pretty bad. So hopefully everybody else doesn't do well. So right now I'm in first place with 72 inches.
Sweet. That sounds like it's a tough one.
It was pretty tough, man. It was kind of one of those lakes where it's kind of been like Table Rock to me. It doesn't fish anything like Table Rock, but I'm saying I've catch fish there and I catch them here and there, but I've never really put a whole day together. So I felt really lucky, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go out there. I'm on a hot streak. I'm gonna go do it. And yeah, I finally had a dud day. But after that, I'm not sure. I'll be in Florida May 4th through 11th, and I'll be looking for houses. So after that, we'll see what my plans bring me to. But as long as I'm here, if I can make the tournaments, I'm gonna be making them. I'm definitely want to hit that River Challenge tournament. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, that is gonna be cool. That's coming up next month.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, Dominguez, you got anything else for him? We got any questions from anybody watching? I haven't seen any pop up.
Yeah, there's been a couple comments on there.
Larry
Lee was on there.
Yeah, he said that he was in the Kings today. It looks like it's a mess.
Yeah, I seen a couple Yeah, I've seen a couple rivers blown up and stuff blown up in that area, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
Man, you guys got your work cut out for you, Jason.
That's I saw a picture of a hot tub floating down the White this afternoon. So a couple of guys were commenting on the swimming pool bite. But it ought to be interesting.
It's crazy how much water that was just dumped in such a small area in such a short period of time. I think I heard like Roaring River came up 9 feet in 30 minutes.
Wow,
that's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of water. We didn't get near that much here in Joplin, but I guess it was down south. It was pretty heavy.
Yeah, that's crazy. 9 feet in less than hours.
Yeah, they took out cars and RVs. I've seen a bunch of pictures, the campground stuff, some of the people that didn't get evacuated in time. Mother Nature. We get spring floods every year. I guess it's that time. Well, thanks guys for coming on. Jason, you got anything you want to add? Got any sponsors you'd like to really thank? I mean, you tore it up, took home almost over $2,000. So congratulations on that, and take it, man.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for a great tournament. I, had a blast, well run. I appreciate everything, and thanks to my wife for letting me go fishing and not doing yard work that day. So.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. If it hadn't been rainy weather, you wouldn't have been able to go. I saw that in the article on the website. So.
I had to work hard Sunday for it, but it was worth it.
There you go. DJ, you got anything you want to say, man?
Yeah, man. I would like to thank some of my sponsors. Real Fast Custom Lures and Viz Baits, True South Jigs, or True South Custom Lures, but I was using their jigs during the tournament. And I knew they were going to work when I got them. When I bought them and ordered them, I looked at them. You could see on their page, I posted, I said, they're going to smash it at Table Rock, and they sure did. So, yeah, I'd like to thank them. And I'd like to thank you guys. And I mean, especially you, Josh, man. From the time I've joined Moyak to now, it's grown, and it's just awesome. I love it. I mean, it's changed my perspective on a lot of things. I was just a monthly fisherman, and then now I got a live resume because of Moyak, and it's well respected too. So, like, I get other interviews in other places just because I finish high in these tournaments, and that's because they're respected, and people know that Moyak's got sticks, dude. I mean, me and Jason beat a lot of really good dudes, man.
Yeah, that's true. The Angler of the Year race this year is going to be crazy. Even after the first two tournaments, you got a bunch of new names up there at the top of the list. So it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, they better hope I don't stick around.
Right. We did have a question pop up. Speaking of your jigs, DJ, Sam was wanting to know, Table Rock Lake, tie on one bait. What's it going to be?
Hey, don't tell him. Is he in Arkansas?
No, he's not. He's Moyak.
If before the tournament, I would have said
Jason can't even answer this question right now. Before
the tournament, I would have said a finesse jig all day, throw it everywhere, swim it, bounce it, drag it. But after that tournament, I'd have say listen to old Eric Prey on that fishing report and throw that little Kitech all day, baby. But I've guys are smashing it off of chatterbaits and red-eyed shads and all kinds of stuff. So honestly, find the area you like and fish your strengths. That's what I would tell somebody to do. Fish whatever you're confident in, because I can't, if I can tell Jason everything I'm using and he can go out there and have a bad day, and I can use everything he's using and I can have a bad day. Sometimes you just got to fish your strength.
That's true.
And I mean, you guys said it exactly. DJ, you're a power fisherman, and Jason, you're more finesse, and you guys caught him completely opposite of what you guys normally do. And that's one of the coolest things about the sport too, is it makes you feel uncomfortable, but it still works out sometimes, and builds some confidence in some other techniques.
Oh yeah.
Jason, what about you? What lure are you going to?
Yeah,
he's gonna drop shot a whopper fly.
Yeah. You heard of helicopter lure? Helicopter lure. Put some gator bait on it. But age myself there, but no, I'll start with a worm and see where it goes.
Dude, I used to not tell anybody what I use, but I find now it doesn't matter. Sometimes it'll throw them off more than it'll help them.
They still got to do what you do.
Right.
Even though they're doing what you're doing.
I can tell you to use the worm, but if you don't know how to wiggle the worm, then
Right.
That's what she said.
right.
Yeah, there we go.
Guys, thank
All
you
right.
so much for
Yeah,
being
man.
on here. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing. Oh, maybe Jason, we're going to see you later on this year.
Yeah, I hope to get up for a couple later in the summer. I'd like to fish Stockton and Palm, if weekends work out. But yeah, planning on it for sure. You'll see me once,
Cool,
maybe
man.
twice. I hope. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give people the opportunity to kick your butt back.
Probably won't be hard.
Well, hopefully we'll see you there, man. All right. Well, thanks guys for coming on, man. You have a good night.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
See you guys.
All
Man,
right.
it's awesome. It's awesome to hear different guys catch them different ways, and especially when it's not their, like they said, they fish completely opposite of each other, and that's not how typically they fish. And it's, to me, it gives me confidence being an angler, just still new, still fresh, that it's just as much confidence as it is what you're throwing.
Yep, it is. I agree completely with that. And like DJ was chasing after the smallies, and so he had a plan. So that was pretty cool.
Absolutely. Hey man, let's jump into this online monthly race real quick. It is heating up.
Yeah, to say the least. Things changed. It's the last day of the month, or no, tomorrow's the last day, right?
Tomorrow. And I think there's going to be a
One
couple
more
guys
day.
that call in sick to work is my guess. Let's look at the top 5. Lee Donner, and that guy has been sitting in there pretty much all month. He's got 94.25 inches. But Troy Inky, number 4 spot. He looks like he caught a couple fish today. 95.25, man. It's cool to see. These guys are still getting out there and hitting it hard.
Yeah, and Jim, he hasn't even been out on the water in a bit, and he's still sitting in 3rd with 96.25.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple weeks since he's been on the water, but yeah, he's still sitting up there. Jared Fosno had a great weekend last weekend, it looks like, and I mean, almost all of his fish are 20s. He's got 100.5 inches. And then Mr. Hughley.
Yeah, Dorman's in first right now with 109.5, so he's got a pretty 9-inch lead with 1 day left. That's a pretty good lead, so he's looking good.
He's on a tear. I liked his post. What was it yesterday that he was? I don't know. He's like, I don't know if I should be mad about throwing 21s back or not. And I'm here thinking, like, can I just have one? Like, I'll just take one.
No kidding. Oh.
Josh, talk to me about Lake of the Ozarks. What do you think that event's going to be like?
Man, I think we are looking good. Oh, my computer's locking up on me. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I still hear you and see you just fine.
Yeah, I can't see nothing on my screen. But anyway, Lake of the Ozarks, I mean, since we're hosting it with the All-American Kayak Series, I think we're going to have some big numbers. I mean, we could be hitting 150 possibly. So really looking forward to that. We've got a great new location ready to go at the Pahiti ramp. It's not too far from PB2 where we were originally going to be. So the state park authorities that I worked with, man, I can't remember their names, but they were really helpful, and they gave us that whole area. So we're going to have plenty of parking space. We're going to have a little pavilion or some tents set up in a grassy area there on the southwest corner above the ramp. So looking forward to Lake of the Ozarks. You can fish both tournaments at once. Remember that. If you want to fish in the All-American, that's a little bigger entry fee, but it's a lot bigger payout. So you can double down, fish in the Moyak tournament and the All-American at the same time. Yeah,
there's 20 guys signed up right now for the All-American, and then 36 on the Moyak side. But yeah, absolutely, those guys can double dip. I know at Table Rock, Jeff talked about getting signed up early. Guys, if you can, try to get signed up this week if at all possible. That just really helps Josh with meal preps, how big an area we need. All that stuff that just really helps him. So if you guys can get signed up earlier, I'm guilty as well. I need to sign up too. But if the earlier you guys can get signed up, the better we can plan, the better the event can be. Josh, are you still there? He's frozen. Well, I'm not sure what happened there, but guys, thanks for jumping on here with us and watching. Thanks to DJ and Jason for being on here with us, and looking forward to seeing you guys at Table Rock. I'd ask Josh if he had anything else to say, but of course I think he's froze up. So we'll see you guys at Lake of the Ozarks.